So there has been a bit of an update with the whole DT and AFTV situation, and straight off the bat, there was talks that maybe this was fake, it was incorrect. DT's actual name is Daniel Turner. It's not Liam Goodenough. Maybe that was also a pseudonym or some sort of other alias. I don't know the situation. That could be wrong. If someone knows, please correct me in the comments below. But AFTV have overnight basically come and put out a statement basically saying that this morning we have been made aware of news regarding DT, who was a regular contributor on AFTV until July 2021. We are utterly appalled and disgusted by his actions and totally condemn domestic abuse or violence of any kind. DT had made us aware of personal issues in his life. However, we can unequivocally say that the extent of the information made publicly by the government today is new to us. DT appeared on AFTV on 1st of January when the severity of his legal case was unbeknownst to us. The recent developments come as a complete shock to all at AFTV. In light of the shocking news, DT will be offered absolutely no place on the channel again. So that is apparently from the official AFTV Twitter account, as you can see there with the check mark and all. And I think in light of all this, a lot of people are now maybe looking at this and thinking, okay, maybe there was something to DT and why he was always angry and always seemed to be going off his rocket. And I can understand, as a football fan as well, you're passionate about your team, you're passionate about the club, you want them to succeed, you want them to do well, and when you see things not working out, it sort of does get the better of you. But it's not the first time. Apparently he's been to prison or jail, whatever, when he was 19, so he's been there before. And he had a suspended sentence of a year. Now it's 3 years. Again, I don't know if that means he's actually going to jail now for 3 years or if it's still a suspended sentence, but he had a 10-year restraining order against his ex. So I don't know the whole story there. There is still a little bit more to come about of all this. It's still news to me, still trying to understand what is actually going on at the moment. But if we're looking through the thread here from AFTV, 26,500 likes, 1,500 quote tweets, and 2,500 retweets. And AFTV said, DT's only appearance on the channel since the charges has now been taken down. We will not be keeping the revenue earned from that video. So I don't know if they're going to be giving it to some sort of charity or some sort of domestic abuse cause or something to that effect. I think Robbie Lyle, who is the other host there in this meme, hopefully he may contribute to this elsewhere. And also shout out to Skull Thuggery, who released a video with the ending featuring DT at the end of his video just yesterday. And poor bloke had to maybe re-edit the outro, so hopefully it wasn't too much hard work there. But you can see the memes already starting to happen there. You know, he's interviewing him in the prison cell, which was what made DT famous. His passionate rants against Arsene Wenger, the board, opposition fans, things like that. And you can see someone's replied underneath saying, "How's the prison food?" by Robbie. And he says, "I'm sick of it, Robbie," because that was something DT always said. Someone would ask him a question, "So what did you think?" "I'm sick of it, man. Every week we come here to watch this shit. I'm sick of it. When will it end?" Etc, etc. That was the joke, as we can see here. When's it going to end? The next meme underneath it. And people are already going in on him about 3 years now. Look, I have no sympathy or empathy for DT. Anyone who commits harm, domestic abuse, violence against anyone, whether it be male or a female, for whatever reason, you have no backing of mine whatsoever. And AFTV have sort of come under fire by some fans here thinking that, well, how could you have not known that this was going on if he's had similar issues in the past? They said that he did make mention that he had some mental health issues, some mental health complaints, but it was something that he was working on, which is why he left the show back in the middle of last year. But he's come back now in recent weeks, and as I said, he was on a couple of days ago. This has happened just yesterday, so that is now null and void. Some people are trying to put some memes up there. Lee Judges, one of the other people on there. This is interesting, though. This is interesting. DT's son apparently exposing AFTV for lying. We all knew it. Glad to get some confirmation. Now, I don't know exactly what confirmation there is, but if we look at this tweet in particular, this image here, a little bit cut off there, but you can see it's from Kieran Hipgrave, which apparently is DT's son, as says in the comments here. If I just change screens right now real quickly. There we go. Not exactly ideal, but we'll look at the comments here. But it says, AFTV and everyone involved have lied. No surprise because they have been lying to their fans for years. I don't know what he means by that. A lot of people in the comments here jokes on his last name being good enough, etc. But a lot of people are questioning is that's really his son. A completely unreliable, unbiased source. Someone says, of course, Robbie was in on it. Lee was the driver and Ty covered it all up. As if, mate, his dad just went to prison. Of course, he's going to start talking shite. Definitely going to believe he isn't being biased. Don't know what it is. Another one says here, this is better proof. His own father back in November telling AFTV what happened to his son. Says, Robbie, I've tried to call you a couple of times. You know Liam was sentenced last Friday. I want to help you start a fundraiser to pay for appeal. Please call me back. I don't know what appeal you're going to be trying to start a fundraiser for if he is guilty. I say if he is guilty, which apparently he is, of this abuse and things like that. I don't know what exactly you can probably leverage up in this instance here. But another one says here, now I don't support Arsenal, DT, always thought he looks a prick, or AFTV, but please tell me how his son merely saying they lied is proof of anything. Yeah, it's one person says something and all of a sudden let's believe it straight away. Says because his grandfather attempted to contact AFTV on the week of his sentence. So this is now a little bit more than just a case of one man just going unhinged or losing his mind or his capacity to think and having his emotions get the better of him. But again, I do ask, what is the real story here? Did AFTV know what the situation is? Again, if it was known that he had some mental health issues or if he was taking a break from all this, I can understand that. Anything more now is just uncovering things of, no, he said, obviously because it's two male sides, not female. So it's he said this, no, he said that. So I don't know what their whole story is now. Again, I'm still unclear whether he is actually going to prison for 3 years or if it's again a suspended sentence for 3 years. But apparently there's a picture of him there with a couple of judges or magistrates. There's DT there with his classic trench coat and his hat with his beard. And I find it ironic how he always used to say behave in front of camera when people used to say silly things to him about the team or performances. And it was always a label on his hat that he wore that said behave with the E back to front, I believe. So don't know what the whole story is. I think it's still happening at the moment where we're still learning what the severity is of this whole thing, what it means in the greater scheme of things. And for DT himself, I do hope he gets the help that he needs, anger management, emotional control, whatever he needs. He may have committed a crime, but you got to also look at it and say, okay, how can we help this person so it doesn't happen, so he gets better at it, so it doesn't happen again. And for his ex and the other person that was assaulted, I hope they recover and hope this hasn't shook them up too much. But I'll finish with saying, in the grand scheme of things, what happens now? How do people see Arsenal Fan TV, or what was formerly known as Arsenal Fan TV, which is now AFTV? Again, someone here saying, will you be deleting all previous videos on YouTube so that they can't be clicked on and no money is earned on those views? Or commit to money earned being given to domestic abuse charities? Well, that's what I said earlier. I think that's not a bad idea. But we'll see what happens on that instance there. So it's going to be interesting. So a lot of people are calling BS that they were unaware of it. Did AFTV try cover it up? Were they knowingly backing DT and all this before this whole thing happened with the charges of his domestic abuse? I'm not sure. I'm just giving the information with my opinion. I think it's not as black and white as man did something bad, man goes to jail now, people he was associated with disavow. I think there is a little bit more to it, but the next few days still will uncover more. And as I said in my last video about this, it'll be interesting to see how YouTube and the footballing world on YouTube and social media respond. And I don't know anyone that's actually got sympathy for DT. We'll wait and see what happens when more information happens to come across. But I'm out for this one. If you enjoyed this, I appreciate the like. Subscribe if you'd like to. But yeah, you can let me know your thoughts. Did AFTV know? Did Don Robbie Lyle know that DT was about this business? Did anyone else on AFTV know? Oh, it's such a mess.